Hello everyone and welcome to another session of Me Programming Daily. Today I would like to talk about something that has been bugging me for a number of days now. I've been going through, and you maybe recognize the point that I'm talking about. It is here. So as I was browsing the white paper a number of days ago, I noticed this part. And it got me thinking, is a state like that even representable in using the new types and functions? The answer is no. We cannot have a word or a letter that is led to that more than one other word or letter leads to. So, for example, here, this block is the result of, or is the next step for 3 different blocks, for this one, and for this one. So in the current implementation, we just cannot point blocks at one shared block or an icon. And you see, even I'm getting a little bit confused with the terminology. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through the white paper again, and I'm trying to piece together all the rules that are defined in the back. And I know I said a while ago that this is a paper of high quality. I still think so, but it's just so cryptic in places, specifically the section of rules and definitions. I'm spending so much time looking at those rules and trying to make sense of them. I'll get to the bottom of it, but what I'm thinking now is that well, we definitely made a huge leap forward with the new implementation of the types. I think there's still a good bit of work to do. Like, for example, this is called the transplantation of a liana. A liana is a term that I don't even have in the render yet. So it lets us shift these connections around. Connection is a term. So there's still a lot of work ahead of me, and before I get the current implementation to the levels of the actual specification defined in the white paper. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that work, but it means that we need to change the direction yet again, if only just a little bit. So right now, the diagrams the engine produces are pretty nice. An unexperienced eye would even say that they're exactly what the white paper proposes, and we can compose various things from them. But there are some nuances that we just can't implement. And let's maybe go through them, just high level. The first example, and I don't even mean layout, the current engine would place this action here. I don't even mean the layout, but stuff like, let's scroll down a little bit. Stuff like this. We have the question icon that which yes connection leads back to the parent's left connection, but the right connection has its own question that only then leads to the parent's main left connection. In our current implementation, if yes is empty, it would just go to the end of the fork, and it would go here. That's true, but this icon would connect to the beginning of this action. I think that's the fatal point of type 1 or 2. So we cannot achieve a combination like these two questions and this icon. I feel I've made some good progress this year towards us getting there, but we still have a good bit to do. So here's what I'm going to do. And I have it in my little script here. The first point was to show impossible cases. So we have this case impossible to represent right now. This case impossible to represent right now because this is a block that two different blocks lead to. And I'll just show one more. This is also impossible to represent. So we're close, but it's still not perfectly what the white paper outlines. So what I would like to do is I would like to finish the terms file that I started. I also added some new terms yesterday. So I added some new elements just going through the white paper on my phone last night. And I think I'm on rule 7 now. The way these terms and rules are presented is attacking the bigger Dracon definition or problem from many different angles, and these angles don't necessarily meet. So I'll be continuing to flesh, or I'll be continuing to flesh this terms document out. But in the meantime, I'm not tempted to work on this parser. I remember during the last session, I was keen to start working on this to provide custom text to our elements, but I don't think that's the best idea because the shape of the Dracon dialect or language, call it whatever you want, will definitely change. So in order to buy myself some time to finish formulating the terms document and maybe outlining a more cohesive version of the Dracon design dialect or language, I'm just going to focus on cleaning up. So what I mean by cleaning up, I want Dracon, I want to go back to the main branch, and I think I'm at the stage where I wouldn't miss what we've already done. I think this is not looking very pretty. I think most of this just needs to go. It's outdated. We don't have balanced paths anymore. So I think I'll focus this and maybe next session on going back to the main branch, updating the README, and leaving the Dracon renderer in a very simple shape. I'm going to provide some examples that do work. I'm going to outline examples that don't work. And again, that will help me buy some time to finish fleshing out the terms document and formulating the dialect. And I think what would make sense is we know that the rendering is no longer the most complicated piece. We can render shapes, we can render connections, text, colors. It's not the hardest bit anymore. I think the hardest bit now is to figure out how to implement these connections and the relationships between the blocks or icons in such a way that it's A, aligned with the white paper, and B, aligned with Haskell approach to representing types. And so in the long-term perspective, I want to turn this, at least to me, a pretty complex definition of the design language into a more cohesive dialect or language, and turn the process of interpreting the input into something more substantial. So I'm thinking it would be a good idea to, instead of focusing on just an ad hoc parser that just works, but it's not very pretty, to do something more future-proof. And I hate to use that phrase, future-proof. But I think it would make sense to, as I formulate the dialect, to define a lexer or a lexical analyzer for Dracon. I couldn't find anything like that online. Maybe I'm missing something. But a lexer for Dracon could be universally useful, I think. Then what I'm planning to do is to implement a parser that is more mature than what I have now, using either Parsec or maybe something hand-rolled. But again, I would like something elegant and something that people can reuse. And finally, I would like to start working on an interpreter that takes these syntax tree produced by parser, by Dracon parser, and produces whatever, be it SVG diagrams or just text. So I think this is a pretty appealing long-term strategy for the Dracon renderer. But before we do that, I just need to finish the terms, and I need to formulate the actual language and or the dialect, however you want to call it. So that was a pretty long introduction. I hope you're still with me. This is still a very interesting project to me, and I hope it is to you too. It is my hobby project, so I'm very delighted to just be able to take my time with it and make mistakes and go back and forth. So without any further ado, I hope you have your drink of choice ready. I have my coffee ready here. And let's, during this session, let's simplify this code a little bit, and let's try to bring this new implementation in place of the old one. So first of all, let's start with README. We can't call it Dracon yet, so let's call it Dracon-esque. This still holds. Let's not worry about terminology, but let's address this first. This is work in progress, and while progress is being made every week, the renderer is not yet guaranteed to render Dracon-correct diagrams. We're getting close, though, I feel. Current focus is to render primitive diagrams according to Dracon rules. No, my current focus is not that. It is rather to So let's link the white paper here. And I think that's an honest thing to do. So it would be nice to have a table. Let's call it. So primitive diagram 1. Let's remove everything except the one we've just added. Yes. I don't think it's working yet. So we have 3 diagrams. 3. That's diagram 3. Okay, this is working now. Let's render this guy. And finally, diagram 4. Okay, so now I can just delete these. We can delete this. So I also got tempted to instead of ZHC just use bash, because I just don't use all the commands that come with bash. But maybe I'll do it later as I update Alpine and GHC. Yeah, there will be time for that. Format can stay. And I'll just remove all that. Build. Terms can stay. I can remove this now. I can remove main. Now I'll rename this domain. See, previously the layout engine on its own was 170 lines. We don't need it. Data types, 80 lines. Records, 300 lines. Render, 400 lines. So we had roughly, give or take, 1,000 lines in the old implementation. In the new one, we have 443, or roughly 450 for everything. So that's a big improvement. We're still not there yet, but it is progress. Now let's go back to README. But only in a little minute. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. Let's turn the music down a bit. Right, where were we? I think we were generating all these diagrams. I think we have everything here. Oh, that's a lot of files changed. Let's quickly switch to that branch. Oh, the link is bad. Let's remove the devlog. I don't keep it anyway. Or I don't maintain it anyway. Everything else is fine. Let's fix the links. No. Oh, that's SVG. Excuse me for a second. Sorry, I'm back. I thought I was needed somewhere else. This SVG renderer here is not ideal, but it's fine. Okay, let's go back to the README. Let's make it honest again. Let's remove terminology. Input syntax, let's not worry about that. Let's remove the method. Development environment is still relevant, so let's leave it. Demo run, I've removed. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. We don't have the loop back, but it's not really super necessary. So now, let's do this. And I'm going to archive this branch. So now we should have 3 branches here. Main is archived. This looks pretty well. So now don't do this at home. All right. This does feel like progress. Now we have much reduced code base. All this in just 400 lines. That's not too bad. But lines is not everything that I'm aiming for. It's clarity and the ability to reuse the code. That matters most to me. And the application. I would love to be able to use it myself at some stage. Okay, so now we can remove this branch. Let's close all the issues that we don't need anything else. Let's close all the issues that we don't need anymore. Done. Let's remove this. Let's remove this for now. Let's create a new issue. So it would be good to also update the version here. This is a breaking change. We don't need some of them. Bison can be removed. Do we need color? No color and text we may need. So this is main. Oh, I need to fix this. There are no other models. Okay, let's get this cleaned as well. One 6 1. I think the current implementation can get as low as 300 lines. Something tells me. Well, that's a shadow. Okay. It is working fine. So we're back on the main branch. That feels like a big relief. We're pushing straight to main. That is fine. Okay. I think I'm happy with the code for now. During the next session, I'll try to do a little bit more cleanup. And I think in the background, I'll be working on the terms file. So it has all the definitions and rules that the white paper defines. And later on, I think I'll start working on formulating the lexical rules for the Lexer so that we can start working on like a more mature set of Lexer, parser, interpreter. So I think the project is maturing, and we're definitely melting away a lot of code. So yeah, very excited to be looking into the future, or Dracon future. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention and for sticking with me. I wish you all a fantastic day. Take care. Bye-bye.